Welcome to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Thank you for joining us. We start this week with the state of the county. Executive Isiah Leggett delivered the annual address at the Silver Spring Civic Center, and it was a packed house that got to listen to the many challenges faced during the last 6 years of Leggett's tenure as county executive. In his own words, the county has been caught in an almost perfect economic storm.
When I assumed office, I knew that Montgomery County was going through not just a transition, but a transformation in who we are, how we live, how we earn our living, and how we manage the county's finances and invest in the future. We are one of the most affluent counties in all of America, and we are one of the most diverse. According to the 2010 census, we have become a majority-minority county for the first time.
The executive laid out 3 new initiatives for the county: Open for Business, English Language on Demand, and Partnership for Educational Achievement, especially underperforming students.
The hours between 3 and 5 are critical because that's when many of our youth are most at risk of involving themselves in risky behavior. So by providing quality programs that they want to participate in, it provides a great resource for our community and the students themselves.
Other good news, despite the lingering recession, there has been a 3.4 increase in jobs in the county, and for the foreseeable future, some 100,000 jobs in biotechnology.
I thought it was a really good speech. I thought he highlighted the right points, and I think he told the story about where we were when he came into office and where we are now. And I think it's a good story. We're a lot better off than when he took over. I thought he was the right candidate for county executive, and I think the last 7 years have proven he wasn't only the best candidate, he's been the right county executive. I'm really happy with where we are.
It was a good night. It was the first time in 4 years the county executive has given his State of the County address, and we've been through a lot in those 4 years. I thought it was a very helpful summary of the journey that we've been on recovering from this economic crisis.
I was very happy with the county executive's speech. Particularly, I loved how he touched on education. Me being a current student at the universities of Shady Grove, I love how he's pushing to continue bringing education up in the county and building that connection with the government.
I think it was a great speech. I think it was very informative. I also think I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with Montgomery County. I've lived in Montgomery County practically all my life, and it's a great feeling to have a county executive that is willing to put his work out, for us and make the county a better place.
Moving forward, funding for transportation. Leggett called upon the legislature to pass an increase on the state's gasoline tax.
I think there's a consensus in Annapolis that we've got to raise the revenues for transportation, whether it's a gas tax, expanding the sales tax. There has to be additional revenues if we're going to, build the Purple Line, the corridor transit way, and the many transportation needs in Montgomery County and around the state. So I'm very optimistic, but it's a big lift, and I'm pleased that the county executive, Isiah Leggett, is on board. Rashawn Baker, county executive in Prince George, is on board. So it's going to be a heavy lift, and we need the entire Montgomery County delegation to Annapolis to get behind some revenue enhancements for transportation.
And as the county is not completely out of the woods yet, there is the threat of sequestration. Area leaders and the business community are worried about the impacts on the local economy if sequestration goes into effect on March 1st. Montgomery County alone had $5 billion in prime federal contracting awards in FY12 that may be adversely affected by the sequester. My MC Media's Sonia Burke reports on how officials say the time for action is now.
It is time to put partisan politics behind us and do the right thing for the country and really for the world.
Montgomery County Executive Isiah Leggett is joined by the county executives of both Prince George's and Howard counties in urging Congress to act. The leader said millions of dollars in revenue are at risk, in addition to the livelihoods of everyday people.
What we can't survive is the uncertainty. So we need Congress to act.
This is about, as County Executive Baker just said, moms and dads who will wake up in a couple months and not have a job.
The potential for 20 days of pay or reduced pay or pay elimination by federal employees will have a devastating impact For Montgomery County alone, in terms of its tax base, each day, based on our estimates, is approximately $500,000. That's a day.
The president of the Montgomery County Council said recent economic progress is also at stake.
We cannot afford to invest in our economic infrastructure and also invest in our social infrastructure if we're now in this holding pattern with the federal government.
Local business leaders are asking national leaders to resolve this situation quickly.
Sequestration is nothing less than an assault on small business.
People don't understand it yet. They will need to understand it. It's just as bad as the fiscal cliff. It needs to be taken care of now.
This is real for Montgomery County. We are definitely anxious.
Officials are hoping residents will contact members of Congress too.
Well, they should contact Congress, members of Congress on both sides, to let them know that this is not a game. We're finished with the brinkmanship, that we need to, in fact, get a resolution, one that is fair and balanced, but to contact their elected officials to make sure that they fully understand it.
For County Report this week in Rockville, I'm Sonia Burke reporting.
The county executive will release his FY14 budget to the county council on March 15th. But some tentative pay raises has one council member particularly concerned. In a deal recently released to the public, the county will pay its workers' union MCG of 1994 as much as an additional 6.75% each year. Council member Phil Andrews says he does not believe these increases are sustainable.
It's a large amount given that the economy is still slow and that other employees and other governments in the private sector are not likely to see an increase anywhere near that. Now, employees deserve a pay raise after several difficult years, but 13.5% over 2 years is going to cost a lot of money, over $40 million over the 3 years, probably over $50 million over the 3 years, and that has yet to be explained how that would be paid for. The executive hasn't said that. He told his departments, though, to expect another tough budget and to be austere and submit cuts. So this is likely to compete directly with important services.
Well, that's the obvious, that always any decision that you make compete with important services, providing a salary increase for our employees who deliver those services. So that's sort of ridiculous to make that kind of statement. Secondly, if you look at the options and follow his advice, we're probably paying 2 or 3 times more than we have on the table. Thirdly, I think that he's failed to look at and advance in his arguments the very tough decisions that I've made, decisions that have been unprecedented. That is, for a county executive to literally walk away in a legal battle and take its own unions to court and not respond to an arbitrated decision. I think that demonstrates very carefully that we've managed the budgets very well. We've had some very difficult challenges that relates to collective bargaining. There are many times when the people in the labor unions have been fighting me about all of this, have demonstrations at my house, at my office, really outraged about the decisions that we've made. Those are the right decisions. Now, we followed his advice and go through this and did less than that and go through the arbitrated process, end up in court. My opinion is that we would be paying 3 to 4 times more than what we've provided. So I think he needs to look at that and evaluate what he's saying rather than to respond to this in a way without the kind of substance that I think this analysis should provide. And by the way, as I've seen that, he's the only person, at least in elective office around here, that have advocated those kinds of positions. No one else that I know have suggested that because I think they're looking at it much fairer.
And talking about salaries and earnings, tax season is here. And for those with incomes under $51,000 per year, free income tax preparation assistance is available. The county's volunteer income tax assistance program helps working families and seniors claim refunds and tax incentives, such as the Earned Income Tax Credit. To inquire about the free income tax preparation service or to make an appointment, just call 311. An apartment complex in Silver Spring is on its way from being a suburb to more of a big city. Susan Kennedy has more on this story. Susan?
Lorna, the owners of a well-known Silver Spring apartment complex say it's time to transition to an urban, pedestrian-friendly, transit-oriented community.
We do know that the owners of the Blairs are planning to redevelop, and we don't know a whole lot about that plan.
And that meeting has taken place, and those plans have been unveiled. The Blairs has been a fixture of southern Silver Spring since the 1950s. The new plans would replace parking lots and some of the older apartments with 1,400 new units, shopping, and green space.
What we're seeing here is the thoughtfulness that has gone into this plan is to create a community. It's design at its best. I think we're talking about environmental design, good sustainable design, how do people live today, more space to ride bikes and walk and meander through the property, dog parks, places to linger, outdoor dining, green roofs everywhere. I think that the neighborhood is going to be very ecstatic to see how much park is going to be on the grounds.
Redevelopment of the Blairs will coincide with rebuilding of the Falklands and Newell Street. These major overhauls have raised concerns about traffic in those areas. At a recent town hall meeting, Councilmember Irvin and D.C. Councilwoman Muriel Bowser addressed residents' questions about the impact of these changes.
How are we factoring in how traffic's going to go in and out of that?
We have 3 pretty large developments coming online right off of Eastern Avenue. So there will be, I don't know what the numbers of in terms of numbers of new people who will be living in and around that community. So we're going to be having many, many conversations moving forward.
But in the end, Irvin says the plans will improve what's currently there and will breathe new life into a section of downtown Silver Spring that's seen mostly office development.
Cars may not be a necessity based on the kind of community that you've chosen to live in. And I think the D.C. residents will be very happy that this particular project is paying so much attention to the residents on the residential side in single-family homes, that their whole approach is how do we integrate the existing neighborhood into our plan.
In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
When we come back, Rosa Parks Middle School celebrates African American History Month. And wine bottles are uncorking at Damascus restaurants. The Dry Town history is history. We'll be right back.
There's a reason why area law enforcement are out enforcing pedestrian and traffic safety laws and preventing killer pedestrian crashes. Be alert. Be street smart.
Are you sure they can recycle us, Clamshell?
Hey, Dome, we're on a new recycling postcard.
I can't wait to make a new start. Maybe I'll be a red carpet at a big premiere.
And I'll get to paint the White House.
Shh, here he comes.
Now you can recycle more plastics in Montgomery County, including #1 PET plastics such as clamshells, deli containers, trays, lids, domes, and cups.
We're in!
For more information on recycling, contact the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311. The wait is over. Recycle more plastics today.
If it wasn't for his doctor, he wouldn't be here.
If it weren't for Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, he wouldn't be here.
If it wasn't for the phone call, we wouldn't have been there.
If I didn't call, I don't know where we would be.
Montgomery County emergency responders are there when you need help at no cost to you. In an emergency, don't ever hesitate to call 911. If you live in Montgomery County, you will never get a bill or pay a dime.
So if you have an emergency, call us. We're there for you.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. It's official. The sale of alcohol in restaurants in Damascus started just a few days ago. That's correct. Wine and beer is now sold in Damascus restaurants after 80 years of being a dry town. Residents voted to lift the ban last November. New York J&P Pizza is the first restaurant in the town to serve beer and wine with meals following the approval of a liquor license. Students at Rosa Parks Middle School in Olney recently took time out to celebrate the legacy of their school's namesake. MCPS TV has the story.
It was a special celebration at Rosa Parks Middle School. Staff served up a great dinner.
Thank you very much.
Moms and dads and kids ate it right up. and students danced, sang songs, and read speeches.
Stood strong, stood proud, and stood tall.
All to commemorate the recent 100th birthday of the civil rights icon and the school's namesake, Rosa Parks, but also to observe African American History Month.
When we take time to pause and to reflect, we have to know that a lot of people sacrificed a lot so that we could have the opportunities we have today.
This was a lesson not lost on the students as they participated in their observance of African American History Month.
I think it shows that like how we had different races in our club, that you could be any race and you can do anything if you just put your mind to it and you just work hard.
This shows our appreciation of like all their success that they've just had and stuff, and it's really fun.
Parents agree.
I think it's important not just for the African American kids, but for all kids to understand their history so they can better understand how we got to be where we are today and some of the things that are happening in our society.
The message to our young people.
County Executive Isiah Leggett attended the event and brought an inspiring message for these young students.
Too many people believe that they have to reach a certain status in life before you can make a contribution. If you look at many of the people in our history, the difference that they made started at a time when we did not think of them as heroes.
The event brought together a school community, but one guest who knew Rosa Parks remembered the school's namesake as a champion for children.
She wanted good things for all children, for them to have the best home lives, the best educational opportunities, and the best careers possible. And so she would encourage all of these children to aspire to that.
When we come back, February is the month for love, and in the county is love for the libraries. And the city of Rockville goes all out to celebrate the Lunar New Year. We'll be right back.
The Montgomery County Office of Human Rights says, don't miss the bus. This spring, take the Civil Rights Educational Freedom Tour.
This is a life-changing experience to relive some of the civil rights movement experiences by the freedom fighters.
Visit the Rosa Parks Museum. Learn about the courageous children of Birmingham. See Dr. King's room at the Lorraine Hotel, and much more. Prices begin at $495 per person and includes hotel, transportation, museum fees, and some meals. Coinciding with MCPS spring break, this trip is designed for all ages, cultures, and backgrounds.
So history does come alive for those who go along this trip. So everybody come along, get on the bus.
Contact the Office of Human Rights for more information about this opportunity to walk in the footsteps of those who changed America.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. The month of February is Library Lovers Month, and there are several family fun events throughout the county's 21 libraries. Celebrations range from used book sales to author greets and meets. Many of the programs are sponsored by the Friends of the Library, and for more information, you may call 240-777-0020. CEOs of companies big and small converged at the Rockville Chamber of Commerce to discuss the newest forms of eco-friendly business. Paul Steinitz has a story.
2013 is a new year for business, fueled by a market that now holds preservation above profit. Eco-conscious concepts from the past are resurfacing. The most popular concept, going green. Boasting a broad definition, green certification characterizes companies operating in a way that protects the environment. Recently, the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Montgomery College, held the first of many Go Green business forums, a chance for veterans and newcomers of eco-friendly business to network and learn from one another.
In this morning's forum, I had the privilege of facilitating the conversation with the three panelists, and essentially the focus was around the advantages, the benefits, and the challenges around going green.
Panelist Jeff Lipsum summed up the unanimous feelings on green certification.
What I'd say to the businesses that are considering the green certification is it's a very beneficial program, but it's also a lengthy process.
Panelist Jim Martinko added how his employees feel better about the company they are working for because of its commitment to a more green approach.
So we felt an obligation to do whatever we could to operate our business in an environmentally responsible fashion, because we're in fact consulting with them on the ways that they can provide all these renewable and energy efficient sources to their clients.
Fully aware of the extensive certification process, Doug Weisberger of the Montgomery County Department of Environmental Protection reminded business owners that help navigating the process is readily available.
We're going to provide you with free training. All right, so if you're interested in pursuing certification, start moving through the application, and when you're sort of at a point where, wow, I just need a little help to get me across the finish line, call us, and we'll get someone out there actually to visit you and help do a little hand-holding.
Ultimately, a business's commitment to preserving the environment will be a defining factor in its success or failure. The word is spreading fast, and for more information on the next Green Business Forum, visit www.montgomerycollege.edu/greenbiz. For County Report this week in Rockville, this is Paul Steinitz.
Our community celebrated Lunar New Year recently with a day-long event throughout Rockville, including a series of performances and activities sponsored by the City of Rockville at the Executive Office Building. Rockville 11 has the recap of this story.
Talk about Lunar New Year, you may think of a few groups that celebrate it traditionally, but then we wanted to make ours Pan-Asian because we wanted to say, well, everybody can join in on a celebration of New Year.
Rockville is a unique little UN of its own.
It was a great program. We had everybody from kids to seniors doing traditional dances and songs and all kinds of stuff. It was a great show.
Well, that's no doubt. The city has been wonderful supporting the event, starting with the mayor and also the Janet Kelly, who's the liaison for the city. And they've been so supportive in putting a lot of time and efforts to make this event happen.
It's really showcases our diversity. I think one of the strengths that the city has is that we come from so many different places and we still get along so well. And the whole Lunar New Year celebration all day long, from the parade this morning to this event, has just shown us just what richness that the Asian community brings to our community.
This building, of course, was packed to the gills with people. We couldn't have put any more in here if we wanted to. It was terrific, and I highly recommend it next year. Don't miss it. It's wonderful fun.
When we come back, you'll get to hear some of the music played at the Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival.
Coming up on County Report this week, we'll take you on a tour of a local chocolate factory.
Montgomery College hosts Diabetes University Saturday, March 2nd at 9 a.m. This educational program is for people with diabetes, their families, caregivers, and educators. The event is free and open to the public, but reservations are required. The new Science Center on MC's Rockville campus has been recognized by the U.S. Green Building Council as one of the most significant leadership in energy and environmental design certified projects of the year. The award highlights the environmentally friendly design of the Science Center. MC's construction management team placed third in the National Association of Home Builders Residential Construction Competition in the two-year college category. Competing against more than 50 teams, the students solved real-life construction management problems for a panel of residential construction industry experts.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. If you love chocolate, you don't want to miss this story about a local business in the Kenlands community. It's a premier chocolate shop with its own basement factory, and people are coming from all over the country to visit. My MC Media's Sonia Burke reports.
Are you looking for something sweet to do this weekend? How about taking a tour of a chocolate factory?
This is the first room in our chocolate shop, and this is the room that smells like a lot of chocolate. So the instant I open this door, you're going to get a huge whiff.
If the aroma is not inviting enough, there are samples of every form to send your chocolate-loving senses into overdrive as you learn the history of this locally owned business from farm to shelf on a 15-minute free tour. Welcome to Spagvola, a chocolate boutique featuring bonbons, truffles, bars, and much more. The business opened on Main Street in Gaithersburg 2 years ago and is now planning to expand to BWI Airport and Bethesda.
We're out to be the world's best chocolate, but the most important thing is educating our customers from the chocolate that they grew up eating versus premium quality chocolate that's manufactured through a vertically integrated business.
Spagvola's story begins in the Dominican Republic, where the cocoa beans are grown and harvested before being shipped to Maryland. At the factory, you'll learn every step of how the chocolate is processed. And then there are those mouth-watering tastings.
So this is 75% dark chocolate.
Who knew? There's an art to eating this chocolate.
Place the bonbon on your tongue, wait about 30 to 40 seconds, or until a lot of the chocolate starts to melt around and starts to get soft.
On this tour, we found visitors from Canada and Virginia who traveled to Gaithersburg for this chocolate experience. They told us that the chocolate was a lot better than an average candy bar.
It's exquisite in comparison. It'd be like having a bottle of beer or a fine wine.
Oh, it was just out of this world. I don't think I could ever eat another chocolate bar again.
And you can tell as soon as they give you a sample and the way the chocolate melts in your mouth, that it's really smooth and creamy. You can tell that it's quality chocolate, that they really know what they're doing.
You come in for a free tour and then you get to taste the richness of the chocolate, how authentic it is, and you immediately want to buy some.
For more information about Spagvola or to book a tour, visit the company's website. In Gaithersburg, for County Report This Week, I'm Sonia Burke reporting.
Now it's time to meet our pet of the week, and today Kathy Stanhope brings us a female cat named Muggle. Kathy?
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week at the Montgomery County Humane Society. And this little darling is Muggle, a tricolored cat, so this is a female. I've told you before, almost all tricolored cats always turn out to be female. Muggle is 11 months old. She's not yet spayed, but she will be spayed upon adoption, and she's a very affectionate little cat. She's purring up a storm. She loves to play. She loves to sit in laps. She loves to be carried around. An all-around good cat. So if you're looking for a nice, friendly kitty for your home, this is the cat to come see. And remember, the animals here at the shelters, the dogs, cats, the guinea pigs, the chinchillas, all of the animals that we have here, most of them are not here through any fault of their own. They are not here because of behavior problems. They are not here because they've done anything wrong. Most of the animals are here because of things like divorce, death of their owner. People are moving and they're being told that they can't take the animal to the new home. So remember, if you're thinking of adding any kind of animal to your home, please come to the shelter and check out what we have. We get in anywhere from 5 to 25 animals daily. The inventory is always changing. If you're looking for a guinea pig, come to the shelter, not a pet store. If you're looking for a rabbit, a chinchilla, and of course all the dogs and cats, give us a call at 240-773-5967 or visit all of our animals that we have on the web at mchumane.org. I know you can find your new best friend with us, not at the pet store.
With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember, we want to hear from you. Share your ideas on the county's new social media site, engage.montgomerycountymd.gov. I'm Lorna Virgili. Thank you for watching. And today we leave you with some sounds from the 4th annual Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival.
Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far, the darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will be still my heart, how high the moon. Until you will